Wi-Fi setup?
You can.
Hey Brandon, how you doing? Yeah, man, we gotta do. I gotta be a little different than the normal. I think Dre and warehouse provider, which we are, and just trying to stick out a little. How's it going out there in sunny California? You got it. No, no, no worries, no worries. But hey, so look, I wanted to reach out to you. As I kind of said in the email, I saw that Pitt, Ohio is now doing forwarding, and I got to say, like, I think it's just a fantastic idea. I mean, being that you guys have this LTL program, you have hubs set up, you have trucks to do all that domestic LTL, the fact that you can really service everything end to end is just phenomenal. And I'd love to be a part of it. We do a lot of like specialized type of equipment things here that I thought may be somewhat of an advantage to you guys. I mean, instead of just a usual and customary drayage and warehousing, we do other things like out of gauge. We're also a CFS as well, and that maybe you can kind of partner and as you grow, we grow, and so I wanted to talk to you about that.
Yeah, sure. Is that a
Yes.
live feed behind you?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is our warehouse. We're going to do a live walkthrough um, of our warehouse, so you're going to actually see us. I know you're in California, so it's not so easy to take a flight here. So we started doing these. I wish I would have thought about this in COVID. I feel like I could have patented it and had like a terrific invention here. But yeah, so we're going to show you that we're real, we're asset based, and just really show you our people and get like a real good insight into our operation.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know much about Leonard Logistics. Actually, I had never heard of you guys. Have we ever done business together with you and you guys in Pitt, Ohio?
Directly, no, but you guys have trucks coming in here every day. We have a big mutual customer called Xylem, where
Yeah,
they're bonded warehouse, and you guys have trucks coming here pretty much every day to pick up for them and some of our other customers.
yeah,
So that's one of the reasons I got the idea. But can you tell me a little more about the forwarding division of Pitt, Ohio? I mean, everyone knows the LTL program, but when did it start? What are some of your goals? What are your capabilities? I'd love to learn a little more.
yeah, sure. So we're super fresh.
Okay,
Just in the forwarding space, just FYI, we just became licensed last year, 2023, and
awesome.
really just started selling it like January of this year.
Yeah,
We have 40 sales reps at Pitt, Ohio, and they've sold LTL for most of their lives, and not a lot else. Maybe some truckload, but yeah, we're trying to expand our service offerings and kind of train our reps to sell other verticals. So yeah, that really, from a freight forwarding standpoint, really didn't launch that until like January. So just like a couple months
okay.
ago. Like I guess we're at 4 or 5 months ago now.
News
Um,
travels fast.
yeah, I guess our marketing team is pretty solid. I will say that.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, so it's right now. It's just a couple of us. I came from a freight forwarding background. I worked at a freight forwarder for 11 years, and yeah, Pitt, Ohio wanted to get into the space, so I kind of helped them become a freight forwarder. We didn't buy out anybody. We just literally went out and got our own FMC licenses, our IAC. We did all the steps from ground up, and we're just starting to sell only the service. We're only trying to sell the service to our existing LTL customers,
yep,
um, and only if they really have a problem. Like, of course, we have big aspirations. We want to grow this, but in the beginning, we're just starting small, and we're just kind of, if a customer has an issue with their freight forwarder, like we're in talks with them about their whole supply chains all the time. So it comes up,
Mm,
um, and if they need help, then we help them out. Um,
absolutely.
yeah, so I mean, we're just a couple people right now, but I'm, hiring, and by the end of the year, probably I'll have like maybe 4 operators working for me.
Okay.
Um, and then, after next year, probably double that. That's, the goals.
Awesome. I
Uh,
mean, I'd love to be in at the ground level with you. I mean, really. And I mean, I think you just already have like an existing customer base with Pitt, Ohio, and you just have like perfect, what's the word? Operations, perfect original structure to grow to into something like this. You're not like email soliciting random people. You already have a rapport with these customers, and
yeah,
I
and
think
a
it's
level
great.
of trust.
Yep, absolutely. Um,
Yeah.
so what I'm going to do, if you don't have any more questions before we start, um, I'm going to introduce myself real quick. So my name's Dustin Fleischer. I've been with the company 15 years. I started when I was in high school. I was a lumper, and my summer job was unloading floor-loaded trucks, sorting the cartons, palletizing them. I started driving a high-low and moved into customer service, assisting dispatch. Um, Started a manager of customer service, went into sales, and then eventually I became the VP today. But I mentioned that because that story is just not my story. It's shared amongst a lot of people here. One thing you're going to see here is real longevity. I mean, I like to think of us, and as you said, you never heard of us. I feel like we're New Jersey's best kept logistics secret. I mean, really. We never had a huge sales team. We never went to a lot of trade shows. We never really did a lot of marketing. That's something that we have started to do. Um, and so our name is starting to get out there a little more, which I think is good. But you're going to see people here who developed a real level of trust with their customers. We have customers like this customer here, Ducati Motorcycles. They've been with us 15 years. We have customers like Tri-K. I think Pitt, Ohio picks up for sometimes. They're a 30-year customer. Um, we have customer service reps who have been with us over 20 years, drivers who have been with us over 30. Our warehouse manager has been with us over 20. But what is great about our story is that customer service rep who has been here over 20 years, 24 years actually. She's been working with some of the same accounts as she has on her first day 24 years ago. Um, and it's you don't see a lot of turnaround here, even despite the market. And we have great tech and we have those things, but we never lost that human touch. I think that a lot of times we see this turnaround, and especially in the warehouse sector, every customer is a little bit different, and we have that relationship with those customers. We know their little niches. There's not someone else in and out every day and has to learn the account and learn the right contacts and this and that. And so I like to say we're one of those like last of the Mohicans, real long-standing drayage warehouse and CFS providers in the New Jersey and New York area. We're actually one of the longest running as well. But with that, do you have any questions before I walk around?
Um, yeah, I guess just some basics. How long has Leonard Logistics been in business? Are you private,
Y-
or what's the ownership like?
Sure. We're a privately owned company. We've been in business since 1981. I got into this business through my father. So I've been here, and it's cool. I've came in when I was 5 years old, and seen people that I knew back then. And when I came back in full time, some of the people retired with us. He does have a partner as well. If you saw in the email, his name is Josh Landau. Um, and so it's basically a partnership, and it's been around a long time.
Yeah.
1981.
And I was actually just in New York recently. And just to put this out there, we do our own drayage.
Okay.
We have more drayage than we have drivers for, I will say that. But we do have our own trucks going into the port.
Hmm.
I was down at the port doing a port tour and also visiting a couple of our truckers and warehouses in the area. Would you say that you guys do more? Like I know, like it's big business in New York City to have cargo come into your facility and then send it into the city. But it sounds like to me you guys are doing more like container unloading and distribution out of New York. Are you doing more one or the other, or do both?
We're doing more container unloading, whether it's fulfillment, transloading, um, or bonded cargo. That's pretty much the bulk of our warehouse business. Um,
Okay.
we do that, but we do have customers who use us just for drayage too. Um, we have customers who use us just for out of gauge drayage, and things of that nature. Um, we what we don't really do is LTL. You know, but otherwise, drayage, warehousing, general warehousing, fulfillment, transloading, CFS, out of gauge cargo, project cargo, we do as well. Um,
Okay.
but I'll give you a walk around, and maybe give you a little better understanding.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You
Sounds
know.
good. Yep.
So what I am gonna say is, I pulled my back really bad this morning. So if I'm walking around like an old man, I don't normally walk like that. So just bear with me if I'm walking a little slow. All right.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Nah, it's all good. Um, so this is our Ducati area. It's a long-term account of ours. We do their drayage, and we also do their I would say their distribution. We distribute their bikes out to different bike retailers. Um, if you're familiar with Ducati, they're kind of like the Ferrari of motorcycles. So
Hmm.
we have an expensive bike here. We have CCTV all throughout the warehouse and the yard. Our yard is fully secure. Warehouse is fully secured. We also have a guard here, 24 hours, 7 days a week, and we have alarm systems. All of that level of security. I mean, it's pretty cool. You could see like certain commodities as take pride in handling, like something like this. Uh, Hold on, let's get the other side. We'll get the other side. So they're fully assembled bikes. There you go. See the Ducati logo. It's a nice white one.
Hmm.
Once in a
Hmm.
while, we get like they're the ones they put on the racetrack, and they come in like a super crate, and they're like over $100,000 a bike. And so we do some other value added services for them as well. Some of their bikes come in with now lithium ion battery, and then some come with an acid pack battery. Um, you could see as we come in, we know what models take which battery, or we'll take an acid pack battery. So we do all the special labeling. You see the hazmat label on there. We can do we go down to the VIN number, type of inventory tracking. So we can track serial numbers if you needed. We can track lot numbers. Um, we're FDA registers as well. So we can store food here if it's okay to be an ambient temperature. We can also track expiration dates as well.
So, and you said hazmat is something you store, not just transport.
So we store certain grades of hazmat. So we're not storing like a flammable. We don't store. We can
Okay.
do drayage for like a flammable type of hazmat. Um, but if you have something like that comes up and it's really just like we're just storing cargo, you don't want to store it in a container, we could always just put it into like a trailer and store it in there. But like fulfillment of like a flammable red label type of hazmat, we wouldn't handle.
Okay.
Uh, but we do like corrosives, environmental pollutants, things like that we can handle here. Um, Over here is so this is Richie and Jay. Richie's one of our long-term guys. How long you been here, Richie? Rich, Richie's been with us 15 years, and you're doing some outbounds today. We're doing inbound. All right, so we're bringing in 150 bikes today. Um, so Richie's in charge of our European division, and Jay is also his assistant. Um, so that's Ducati. They had the Ducati account.
All right. Nice
Right.
to meet you.
Thanks, Rich. Said nice to meet you.
Yeah, I wasn't
These
sure
are
if
all
you
their.
could hear me or if that was just through your earpiece.
Nah, I can. I let everyone know through the message. Um, so these are their saddlebags. So what's unique about this? So each saddlebag has its own VIN number. You actually have to match the VIN number of that saddlebag to the VIN number of the bike when we're shipping them.
Mm, okay.
We do some disposal as well. You can see the saddle. This is a loaded Ducati container over here. We have 24 doors. We're 130,000 square feet. We're a Class A facility. We just put new LED lights throughout the
Okay.
facility, um, and they're motion censored. So most of the guys are on lunch right now. So it seems kind of slow. It's 12 o'clock here, it's lunchtime. So it's as we walk through, you'll see the motion censored lights come up. We do special projects. So right now we're doing a special project for Costco. Um, this is we have to open these gaylords. There's some type of electronics inside, and we have to open the box and take a piece out, put a new label on, and repackage. We do that here and there.
Directly
We
for
hand
Costco?
No, through another forwarder.
Okay.
Ultimately, yeah. Um, we do a lot of auto parts here. So over here is Roop. They're an auto part account. So we do their drayage. These come in overweight. Do you do overweight with your own trucks?
We have one triaxle. Um,
Okay,
yeah, not much. Our tractors are day cabs, so they're not exactly powered up. So we're maxing out at 80,000 gross right now. But
gotcha,
yeah,
got you. So we can do 90 GVW,
okay,
and we have about 10 triaxles. We do have slider chassis as well, and we have a step deck and a drop deck and double drop decks as well. So like low boys to do out of gauge deliveries if that comes up.
okay,
Um, so over here is Roop, and just an example. This is more of our fulfillment type of area. Everything is location based, so you can see the white labels. These are our locations. Um, and then when we're receiving cargo, what we're doing is printing these green labels off of the packing list provided. You on everything on this green label is identifying what's on this pallet. So we have a SKU number, we have description. This customer needs to know how many inners are within this crate on their inventory, and they have a lot number that we use. So we match all of that up, apply it to the inbound pallet, and then it scans into a location. So when we have an order going out, it tells the picker to go to which location it was scanned into to make sure we're picking the right cargo.
okay.
So
Yeah,
if you don't,
sorry, I wish I would have brought on somebody else on our team. So the way that Pitt, Ohio is set up,
okay,
um, well, we obviously have our LTL division, but then everything else that we use third parties for,
hello,
we consider that our supply chain division. So is one division under supply chain. And we actually have a 3PL warehousing vertical, and we have a director of that vertical. So it would be good for him. His name is JP to meet you. But I can pass along a lot of this information. So,
that'd
but
be
like
great.
so specifically, like if it comes to like drayage and transloading, that
Okay,
actually falls under my team. But if it's longer term storage, that actually falls under JP's team.
okay,
But anyway, I'll pass along all the information.
much appreciated. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll kind of fast forward a little here for you to go past the fulfillment area. Um, but
It's
we
all right.
handle all
I've
different.
done it in my past life as well. I used to
Yeah,
run a small warehouse in Compton, so I know it. I can talk to him educatedly about it and what you can offer, but not quite
gotcha.
as much as probably you know it.
Nah, man, I can already tell you know what you're doing. Um, so, okay, so we handle, let's see, we have different appliances here, all different shapes and sizes. This is packaging products for food, needs an FDA registered warehouse. Over here, let's go to the next aisle, Jovi. So you can see we have a lot of space available right now. I mean, I would say we have about close to 3,000 pallet positions if it's rackable freight. Um, so over here, this is close to a 30-year customer of ours. This company is a division of Galaxy. They do all manufacture all different types of raw materials for cosmetic products. So hair gel, toothpaste, lotions, conditioners, things like that. We handle the all the raw materials for them. You have all different shapes, sizes, drums. You can have cartons. We're not always picking this pallet and loading the whole pallet out. We're going to pick one drum out, shrink wrap it, make sure that if there needs a C of A, um, special requirements for that SKU. We have all that logged, um, and we track their expiration dates and also their batch numbers as well. I mean, one thing about our system for fulfillment that I really like is that it's customizable because as I mentioned, every warehouse account is different. Um, and what we can do is actually create like a custom reference field. If someone wanted an SLI number when they went on their website to see their inventory, we can just create a field that says SLI number. um, what we can also do is we have web access logins for the customer and you. There's different permissions allowed for each user. So if you want to give your customer a login and not let them see charges, we can absolutely do that. We just on the user we would set permission so they can't see the charges.
What WMS do you use?
So for fulfillment, it's called Logimax. It's not our own proprietary system. We didn't really want to go that route because you create a proprietary system. Sometimes things happen and there's disruptions, um, and then you got to wait, and it could create delays. So what we did is we found one that was so customizable where it was almost like making our own system, but having the reliability of a software that's been around for so long.
Mhm.
Now, for our transloading, we use a system called Cargo Manager. We also use that for our CFS bond. Um, that is different scope of warehouse work, very simple. You have a one-on-one customer service rep you can always call, ask questions. You also have the ability to log in. Actually, you don't even have to log in, you just go right on our website You put in the container number. You can see when the container discharged, when it posted customs, freight release. You see when we picked it up. Has it been shipped out? If it has, tells you the date it was shipped out. So you kind of like you get that turnaround time. Just and
Okay.
it's very simple. You just type in the container number. We do. So we have a lot of special equipment for that I think is valuable to have in your partners for transloading. We
Yep.
do uh, we do slip sheets.
Okay.
We do as I mentioned. We right now today we have up to 17,000 pounds capacity of forklifts. Next week, we're actually getting one coming in that's going to do 45,000 pounds. That's also going to be able to convert with a crane mount, so we can do open tops as well.
Mm.
So we're going to be able to start doing crane work here as well, and like really heavy cargo. But 17,000 is still pretty heavy. That should be another week, maybe week and a half.
Okay. Yeah, we do a little bit of that stuff.
Okay,
Mainly just like one-offs here and there.
gotcha.
And we've traditionally used Harbor Freight for it just because they're kind of known for that.
Yeah,
But it's good to know.
absolutely. Um, we do bundles as well. So we have a jib boom for bundles. Um, we can do clampable cargo as well. We have clamps. So this is where we're handling most of our transloading over here. Um, a lot of our transloads, I mean, a true transload really is like this account here. This is Go Squeeze. Um, we back in the container. We have a switcher back in the container. We have fully secured yard. Container comes in. Next day, back in the container with a switcher. Trailer load shows up. We swing it into the trailer load. Um, that's how we do most of our palletized cargo. Um, with that, we're able to offer like a good rate for with that because it's simple,
Hmm.
simple solution. I think a lot of people have different definitions of a transload. Um, we can do all different things, but I believe a transload is really more so for it's cheaper to go inland um, transloading and putting it on a trailer than um, delivering it straight in a container. So
Yeah.
we do a lot of that work.
Okay.
Um, so I don't know if you heard this, and this is one thing I wanted to mention to you. So there's a Teamsters rail strike pending May 22nd. So with our CFS bond, and we're actually starting to see some of the cargo now because people are trying to avoid it if it happens, is they're rerouting their cargo to New York. We're bringing it in under our CFS bond and loading it out into a bonded carrier, delivering it up to Canada in bond so it could release there. So if you ever get requests for that, that's something we can do for you. We can do the cross border.
Okay. And you would broker the truckload too?
That's the only part we would broker. So, but it's not mandatory. If you have I don't know if Pitt Ohio can do it with their own trucks, or if you have a carrier you work with and you want to do it that way, it's not mandatory. It's just something we offer. The drayage and the warehousing is us. That's our assets.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I know about the upcoming. Is it the same strike that's they're worried about in Vancouver? I know that the rail. I think that's just a BNSF maybe. A rail
I
strike in Vancouver.
I gotta remember the actual location. I have to check the articles I've been reading. I forget the actual
Yeah.
location. But yeah, we have a unique customer. It's like really expensive medical equipment, and they needed to come picked up on an air ride chassis. So we're able to use our step deck, which is air ride, and do it that way. And
Hmm.
they're going into Canada. We have an in-house mechanic area over here. Let's see if he's here. He's out in the yard working on a truck. But this guy's been with us 30 years. That's Danny. Um, he's our mechanic, very long-term employee. He was a driver. He was getting a little older. Wanted to take him off the road and keep him in house. So we found a spot for him as a in-house mechanic.
Okay. How many, you said you had 10 triaxles. How many tractors and regular chassis do you have?
So we have about 35 drivers, um, 35 trucks, and we have I think it's about 40, give or take 45 slider chassis. So we use those for 20s or 40s.
Yep.
So I mean, if you're delivering a container, sorry about that. That's the back acting up.
Oh,
If I'm returning a 20 and I got to pick up a 40, we're just going to slide the chassis to bigger to do a 40.
yep.
And here is customer service, warehouse and customer service. This is Angie. Angie, how long you been with us? So Angie's a 25-year employee that I said was working with some of the same accounts that she was on day one. So she and so she does a terrific job. Dawn is our manager. She's our station manager. She joined us a few years ago when we brought our CFS bond into play. She worked at St. George, Vanguard, all the big name CFSs that kind of don't offer that hands-on boutique type of CFS service that we do.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever worked with those guys, but word on the street and from the reviews that I heard, it's kind of like a pain. Very difficult to get someone on the phone or get an email answered. Simple things. We're not like that. We kind of brought this into play to satisfy that need. Um, over there sits. Oh, yeah. So I was saying, a lot of times the reviews that I've heard and we've heard is Vanguard, St. George, even Shipco, these bigger CFSs. Um, Kind of a pain to deal with, answer an email, phone call, things like that. So we've kind of got our CFS in the play to satisfy that need. With us, I mean, you have my cell phone, you can have the owner's cell phone, Dawn contact. We're just not like that. You have a driver running a little late, give us a heads up. We'll keep guys late for him. Barely very small lines, if any, at the pickup window. They're not out the window, which I know your guys at Pitt, Ohio LTL, I'm sure are very familiar with. Um, you don't have that issue here.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so
So just a quick question about your CFS. Are you targeting freight forwarders that want to use you for their deconsolidation of their like multiple customer containers? Or are you more finding that, it's actually full container goods for one specific customer that just needs to stay in bond?
yeah, so it's a great question, and it would be the latter.
Okay.
So we don't have that IPI program. If you need that IPI program, unfortunately, you would have to go to those the Vanguards and the St. Georges of the world.
Mhm.
But we have like that customer Xylem. It's multiple house bills in the container, but it's just
Mhm.
one shipper, so it's like a single shipper consolidation. And that's a big customer, and they need that flexibility.
Yeah.
And that's where we come into play. Or transloading. Very often we'll see basically like a transload, and like I mentioned that Canada, um, what's going on with Canada. We've been doing a lot of stuff uh, for that. So Jovi is our third customer service rep, but she's on the camera right now. Um,
Thank you, Joby.
we have a billing manager. She's at lunch right now, but she's been with us 20 years as well. Um, so this computer here, going in the drayage, this checks all the availability of the containers at the ports. And so you can see this is everything we have in our system right now. Everything is getting checked every 20 minutes. So when you give us a delivery order, it's getting checked quickly, and we don't have someone going through a stack of papers once, twice a day. All this can be put into reporting for you, so you can have your updates as far as the releases at the ports, when it was picked up, when it was delivered, when the empty was returned, is it in our yard? Um, Basically, anything that's within our TMS, we can replicate in a report. Can be sent 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day, as many as you want.
And are you EDI or API connected to the terminals so you don't have to go into their sites every time to check?
Yeah, so we have it's API. So
Okay.
there's an additional module through our TMS. We use Profit Tools,
Hmm.
but there's an additional module called Track and Trace, and through the API, basically takes the info on the website, puts it into our system,
Okay.
and then so you mentioned transloading. I just want to let you know you can see how close the trucking and warehousing customer service work together. um, Trucking is in here. So over here is Dana. Dana's our operations manager. Dana, how long you been with us? Dana's been with us 23 years. And Dana's the guy who taught me a lot when I first started. Um, we all have very close relationships here through that longevity. Uh, Over here is Jonathan. Jonathan's our dispatcher. How long you been with us now? 12 years. Jonathan's our dispatcher, and Jonathan is a veteran. He drove trucks in the military. He helped dispatch in the military as well. Started as a driver. Once we found that out, we were like, we got to bring you into the office, man. And since then, he just done a great job. Like talk about like SOPs and regimented instructions and everything. I mean, nothing better than military training. So he does a great job.
One dispatcher for 35 drivers.
Yeah,
It's impressive.
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, and him and Dana, I mean, they work together. I mean, it's it's a team here. Um, But I can just see Dawn does a lot of our transloads and Jovi. They're right there. We give transloading. We do everything on one invoice. So your drayage, your warehousing, your in and out charges, or storage, if they come up, we can put everything on one invoice for you. It's simple for counting and paying the invoices and everything as well.
Okay. How many transloads do you
So
do a day?
so right now it's went down since COVID.
Hmm.
We've had days. Last week we did about 25. It could range from maybe 5 to 25. We have capacity, I would say, for like 50 a day right now. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, right now, guys, we're only 7 miles from the New Jersey and New York ports. Um, Guys are running in and out of the ports all day. There's really not congestion right now. Um, I think 50 is a safe bet for palletized cargo. Floor loaded cargo, maybe like 25, 30, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. Are you looking for one over the other?
Nope. Take either one. It doesn't really make
Okay.
much of a difference to us. Yeah, we don't have a preference. We're equally as good at both. I would say, probably our strongest core service. Drayage is there, but I think just coupling the drayage and the warehousing and a transload, I think that's really where we come through and we shine.
Okay.
Oh, one more thing. So you mentioned you have an IAC. We do have TSA certified drivers, and
Okay.
we are going to be have our own IAC. That way, if you have a need for that, we don't have to run under yours. Um, that should be in Josh like another week, maybe 2 weeks. That should be set up too with our own IAC. But if you have an immediate need, we can give you all our drivers. We can run under yours.
Okay.
Um, we can do it that way as well.
So you sweep the airport on a daily basis?
No, we're more of like for hot shots.
Hmm.
Um, so mainly, we're in a good location for Newark Airport.
Hmm.
So if you have like a expedited type of hot shot, time sensitive type of
Okay.
work,
Yeah,
we
like a
can do
full
that.
truckload or like a full straight truck or something like that.
Yep, yep,
Okay.
exactly. And we do have straight trucks, and they're all for local work. We have three of them. They have lift gates. Um, and yeah, so we pick up from like CFSs, or we can go to pick up from the airport or deliver to the airport. Um, if right now, if we were to run under your IAC, pretty soon we're going to be under our own to do the exports into the airport.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think everybody's like since COVID, everybody's looking for more transload business. We are too.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely keep you in mind. And then also for like bonded for sure, I'm going to pass along your information to our JP, our director of warehousing, just because he might be interested in some of the hazmat. If you have like a list of what you don't take as far as hazmat or what you do take, either way, that would be helpful.
Mhm. Okay.
Um, but and then also FDA, like they get all kinds of requests. So I'll pass along all the information that you told me about. I thought
Yeah.
of one other question for you on my side. Do you have any genset chassis?
No, I mean, so I gotta ask you that question. I've never. Is there chassis with gensets? Because as far as my knowledge is that the peers just put the gensets on the containers.
Yeah,
But
there's
I've
two
gotten
types
that
of
question a
gensets.
lot of time.
Yeah, there's two types of gensets. One's a clip-on, where it's to the pier. Yeah, they're owned by the steamship lines, and they clip on at the port. And then
Right.
there's underslung, which are attached to the chassis, and it just has a power cord that comes around and you plug it in. It's a little hard on the slider chassis because you can't like mount it to to a good spot that doesn't get in the way.
Gotcha.
Um, but yeah, there are some that are mounted underneath, and it's literally just a generator mounted to the bottom of the chassis with a long power
Okay.
cord.
Cool. I appreciate the lesson. Thank you. Um, for the
It became a
special
big
type of.
thing. It became
Mhm.
a big thing. Sorry, it became a big thing when the gen sets were like running out at the port. Like there was
Yeah.
a lot of problems in COVID where they were out of the gen sets. So then
Yeah.
everybody was like, "Oh, we need to get these chassis with gen sets." It's not so much of a need anymore, to be honest.
Gotcha. Well, the type of specialized drayage equipment we have is we mentioned the triaxles, the overweight, hazmat. We can do ISO tanks as well,
Oh,
um,
really?
and the out of gauge cargo.
Okay, so you do ISO tanks as well.
We
Um,
do. We do.
all right. Okay.
Yeah.
We don't do a ton of it, but we get a lot of requests. And we've been a
Yeah.
little hesitant to get into it. We recently started talking with the company that does it in New York, Just Tanks. But we haven't
Mm.
brought any business their way. It's just kind of we're in the exploratory phase.
Yeah. I was told like a company that does a lot of it is called Linden Bulk.
Hmm.
But but then I've heard they kind of like gouge a little on the
Hmm.
price. Um, so it
Yeah.
was something, we've gotten requests to, and
Yeah.
I mean, you'll see if you have an opportunity. Like we're just not like that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're partners, and the more successful you are, is really the more successful we are, and it's as simple as that. And at the end of the day, as a 3PL, we'd be third party with you. We're doing our services on behalf of Pitt, Ohio Forwarding. So if we were to make a mistake, at the end of the day, it's the customer thinks it's you making the mistake, not us. So it's very important that we maintain our service level on behalf of you. And I think that's why we've had some really long-term customers here. That reliability is always been there, and that's how we've been in business so long, really.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, Pitt, Ohio is a family-owned company too. Yeah, I'm actually like a cousin to the family myself.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you mentioned that you were kind of involved from a family perspective, so I thought I'd mention
Yeah,
that. But yeah, we've been around for Pitt, Ohio's been around for 100 years, always family-owned. It became Pitt, Ohio, in 1979, but it used to be called
yeah.
Hamels Express before that. So
Okay.
yeah, always family-owned and probably will be for quite a long time.
Yeah. No, it's different when it's like that, man. Like a family, privately owned company, there's like another sense of like caring and I think like it's a word like just pride in what you do, you know?
Mhm.
And I think that's
Yeah.
another good synergy we can have together, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
appreciate it. Good to meet you. Thanks for reaching out. Is there any part of the Xylem business that you don't get that you don't get? Like, do you handle their drayage too, or should we go after that together?
The drayage, we do handle it through another forwarder.
Okay.
Um, I'd be in trouble if I did
Yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
um,
Um,
yeah.
and then what about direct drayage? Do you want that, or are you just probably looking for things that come through your warehouse?
No, we absolutely handle. We have certain customers who just use us for direct trades. We can do EDI with your system if you want. So our system is EDI capable and um, can be a forwarder. We have shippers we work with like ICL.
Mhm.
We just do drayage for them. That's the only thing we do. And then we have customers or other forwarders who use us for all three: drayage, transloading, fulfillment, and CFS for. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
just depends on the needs. You know, normally
yeah,
when we handle one thing and you get that you get used to us, then we typically grow with the customer that we have. But um, hopefully
yeah,
we get there.
yeah, yeah. No, absolutely. No, it's good. I really like this tour. It's a
Thank
great
you.
idea, honestly.
We put a lot of thought in it, man. Really, that was like um, so. You mentioned like the family. So my dad's is partners with uh, Josh's dad. So me, so my as my dad's son and Josh's dad's son,
Hmm.
Chaim's son, we're kind of like trying to bring some new life and new things together and piggybacking off each other. And so this was one of the things we did, and so I appreciate the compliment.
Yeah, yeah, it's great. Thanks for you said Jovi or Joni for
She,
holding the camera. Thank you for me. All right.
she, uh, she said you're welcome.
Okay.
um, Is there, like, an onboarding department where I can send you my certificate of insurance, W-9, and all that stuff?
Yeah, good question. It's called the email address is carrierrelations@pitohio.com.
Okay,
So they're the ones that handle all of our, warehouses, truckers, that we use from a supply chain side. So carrierrelations@pitohio.com.
got it. And
And yeah, we do have like minimums, insurance requirements, check your safety scores, stuff like that.
yeah, yeah, that's no problem with us. If I email them, is okay if I just CC you, just so they don't think I'm
Yeah.
just emailing out of the blue. Is that cool?
Yeah. I mean, if you want, I'll just email them and make the connection.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, you have my cell phone on there. That's my preferred method of contact. Look, if you ever need anything, you have any questions, just call me anytime. Really, I'm always available. This is my life. I just had a daughter 6 weeks
Congrats.
ago, and thank you. And so looking to grow, as much as possible, and anything we can do to help, please let me know.
Yeah, sounds good. At the moment, you're just trying to fill your own building, right? You're not buying another building or anything, right?
We actually will if there's a need.
Yeah. Okay.
But right now, I mean, I have about 3,000 pallet positions, including racking. Um,
Okay.
I have about 80 more containers slots available in our secure yard as well. So I have
Okay.
plenty of capacity here.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, look, if there's a need for it, we absolutely will. My dad's partners have a really big real estate background as well, so um, that's an option that we do have, probably a little more than most people who do what we do.
Yeah. Yeah. Got it. Okay. Cool. Appreciate your time.
I appreciate
Nice
the
to meet you.
opportunity. Nice to
Yeah.
meet you too.
Talk to you soon.
See ya.